Hi everyone. I'm doing an update on my work here, my Brain.js predictor function. Um, in AI, we say AI, but I'm not really AI yet. I'm more like universal function kind of because AI means like he's like you call him by his name and he's gonna come, right? That's sort of AI, right? And I can't really call him by his name yet. So he's more like a forest trained, and I'm gonna just do a run through as and it's not like I've been saying in my other videos. Oh, I'll be making a trigger, but it's I'm getting there. But I'm always like, oh, let's add another line to make it trigger, and get ideas and brainstorming ideas to, and it's nonstop. You can always have a new idea to bring lines together to analyze. So I'm just going to start this one. It's pretty like the interval, it starts it. So if you just wait and do nothing, it's going to wait like in 1 minute, it's going to propagate. But why not propagate it right now? Insert your training data now. And I'm really impressed with Brain.js, how fast it goes. Like, there's a lot of data, like 500 pieces of data, and boom, that's done. And he did all the computation of his brain has been force trained and output in one shot. And now the app behind the scene is just sitting there and waiting. It's not doing nothing. It gave out what it gave out. It did as an analysis, and we're waiting for the next interval. And this is how we can like perceive in time, visualize what's happening with the price of ether. So, not to let you wait too long, this is the first interval. It's still hard to see what is happening if you don't play around and tinker with this app for a while. And but let's go see one that I've been running for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 minutes and see what's happening. So, tiny explanation. This is the predicted high of the brain, the blue. The yellow is the low. The red is the predicted open, and the green is the close. So you can tell like what the brain is thinking upon his own predictions, where he's at, like where the close and the open is. Okay. Um, this blue line here is the average of the market high, like the latest price. Okay, averaged out with the brain prediction. Excuse me. And same with the green line has its closed averaged out with the latest market. So when the market changes on the latest, it sort of gives this visual effect here where we know uh, the position of the latest versus what the brain has just predicted. And you can see that the brain tries to always retarget itself. And this is the close, so that you see how the close just goes up with it. It's always like, if you look at it, it's always in the middle, and the red is always in the middle. See, this is the open, so the middle in the middle, so it gives me a visual effect of if it's getting closer. And for example, here we can tell like um, the close price is under its own kind of resistance, of his own brain. So it's the brain is feels when there's resistance, and here we have a breakthrough, right? What will that breakthrough look like? But let's, if I look at it, explain all the line, the low and all that, and that's the medium. I just took this prediction high, close, open, and low, and made an average with it. So we can see uh, on itself if the close is above its own average of all, if it's strong or weak. Now we have a strong uh, close. And let's go see Bitcoin. Look what Bitcoin did. And as you can tell here, um, his closing price, it breaks through, right? And I didn't change the color on this one. The blue one is green. This is the close. So it breaks through his close price. And that's the close and that's the open. And both of them break through, not just one. See here, there's a resistance and it takes a little swing at it and it comes back and breaks through, swings at it, and this time it doesn't drop as hard, it doesn't break through the low. So it's here. So you can tell, you can feel there's some strength building up. And then he breaks through, and then he also gives out a little, uh, plus sign here. Because if we go take a look, um, my lines are I started them differently, so they're not. There's missing a bit behind here. I didn't. I should have started them together so we can compare. But and so I'm right here. We go down. What's happening here? Okay, the low gives out a good little pump up right here, little note. And interesting, the close is above its average, but pokes right there where it never did in the past. Okay, something new happened here for a while. It happens, but not in this kind of 15-20 minute picture here. And so we keep going. There's no, it stays above, it breaks through. This could be interesting here, this little point here. It's hard to tell. I can't see a trigger here that I could use to detect me. Hey, buy right here. All I can see is an accumulation of data that I would have to group up to trigger something. And the market's always changing a bit. So your triggers that you build, it's like a strategy. Um, won't reoccur. It won't redo its perfect like trigger every time. You see a trigger, you see a something happening, so you build your questions with your math, and then the market goes on. It works, but then you have to modify your trigger a bit because the market never sort of stays in one kind of state, because if it did, people would profit like it would not make sense. So it's always a breaking point and a building point with the market. um, so this is I'm just running through um, to share with my projects. I have other plans with this after, like after I try to create triggers to discern imminent trends. And usually, when all the stocks go up, when the tide rises, all stocks go up. So the thing is, like, which stock are you going to jump into? That's another thing that my trigger that I want to integrate. My trigger is if Bitcoin's going up and Ether's going up, which one will like be a high rise? Like, which one's going to win over 3% on this kind of cycle, so I could jump on the strong one. And I think, and I believe this, that we can detect the heights with what's happening at the bottom, and with time and analysis, and keep asking myself questions, keep testing my things, keep building lines. I'm slowly getting there. I think that Brain.js it works very efficiently. I think like with 4 or 5 neurons, it could categorize black and white. So give it a few more neurons, it could categorize a few more colors. That's what I think. Um, so there's no time steps to this. It's like a brain. It's a force train and output. Um, I'm not thinking of the time step right now, but I will. That'd be like pretty sweet. Hey, the thing is that time step we pretty random uh, if you don't put the right data in, right? Um, and what else did I wanted to share? These are just lines without the price. You could always hide things. Okay. The this one here, if you notice, these are I'm gonna color with colors. Okay, let's try to keep the colors with colors. So I'm gonna hide all the and show you what's happening here. Okay. So it's the question here is the yellow is the market. And every minute the yellow is the actual low price above the element 3. That's an error. It's above element 4, which is the close. Which sorry, close. No, I'm right. Sorry, I'm element 3 is low. Element 4 is close in my head. Sorry, guys. It's the developer behind me here. So okay, we want to see what do we want to see here? We want to see actually this right here, close to the zero together, like when they squeeze. We need to see them squeeze. Squeeze means there's an imminent event happening, like right here. Imminent event happening here, but we never know where, like if the event's going to be an uprise or downrise. Okay, it's a squeeze. It's a box we call it. Um, so we can see what's going on with the price. Imminent event. Well, look at we have this kind of picture here, and you can tell that what you want to look at is the because what when you subtract uh, numbers together, if the highest number is greater, then we get a minus, right? So we want to stay like around the zero mark. That's the like this point. This one is stretching out. This one, and at the same time when they're both together, that's the strong points. Like here, what's happening here? You see, there's a diversion. Like there's an excess. These lines have to come back together, and they also have to come back to. They're forced to come back to the zero, and they're far away. So what's happening here? Well, the price just blew up and way above original lines. So no one knows what should be next. So readjustment, something like that. Double bottoms, 48, 31, 42, and 43. Wow, two penny difference. Close and open. And close a penny. Even pennies are very, very important in the market. Just 1 penny. So we're looking at Bitcoin. 1 penny. Well, look at this guy, 1 penny. He's different. You see? That's where we can see the difference between two reactions. It looks like, would that be considered a strong? Well, I could maybe calculate this data piece to this data piece and this data piece to this data piece on itself, and see percentage move or what's required to, or, always the same thing, open with open, things like that. So, okay, I've been doing it for 15 minutes or so, and I didn't go into the data. I just wanted to show you my front end, um, not to complicate things for beginners or someone who wants. I don't want to like overwhelm anyone here, but this is, I did it like, I'm sure I could clean this up a lot more. Um, I'm always open source. I'm probably just going to put that. This one here is not on my GitHub yet, but I probably will put it. And if I do, I'll leave a link below. Um, I'm not a professional YouTuber yet. I just like to share things, and helps me focus on other things. After I share things with the people, it makes helps me focus to do other things and stay in line. Oh, last thought. Um, Last thought would be, what would I do with trend detection? With NFTs. Could I send this information to an NFT and say, NFT here, and the NFT has a PowerPoint to it or something saying, this is my PowerPoint for the trend of the day or the trend of the minute, and has an interaction, Brain.js, right into a smart contract, you know. And I think I'm thinking of something more like a simple database, a simple storage, where it's a zero or one. It's up or it's down. And for because the more you put data on the Ethereum, it costs. It might be costly, but if I can just give it like a thumbs up, thumbs down, and a PowerPoint, so two pieces of data, and then those two pieces could be checked, from one NFT to another, what the PowerPoint was. And it's like every individual would have his own like Brain.js and his own NFT, and your script when you're on it it interacts with the smart contract saying, this is up or down, and it's your NFT, and you can have like, I don't know, on your Facebook, you have your NFT market. Ether is going trend imminent, this kind of power point or something. It's never like, oh, you got to listen to this and just do it. No, it's at the end of the day, it's for fun too. And okay, that was my last thought. That's my brainstorming thing. I hope that like, if anyone has like, Brain.js could be modified. Like I'm using Brain to do this, but we can use Brain.js to compute two images together to make one, you know, and it would be pretty unique. And it's like, there's different ways of bringing them together, like a consensus way of smashing, uh, let's say, two images together, to create a new one. And like laws of like, oh, like the parent, this image was, these are the parents. Um, in the next step, can we reuse the parents to smash another face, or we have to have another child to smash with another child to create another face, or something, and use brain.js to just spit it out. It's really fast and it's pretty powerful. I don't know about, like, I'm not so much in Python. I started with JavaScript, so Python, I do understand it, but I'm not like, I would be so slow at coding, because I'd be like looking at the docs all the time, which I'm doing with JavaScript already. So, anyways, that's it, folks, for my run through with my bot here. We can just do a last check price of Bitcoin. No, it's not Bitcoin. This is Ether. Yeah, I gotta do some cleanup here. I can see Bitcoin close price. No, it's Ether. This is Ether. Oh, am I looking at two Ether pages here? I think I am. Ether and Ether. Oh, here's my Bitcoin. Sorry, guys. There we go. Bitcoin's down. Like, you see how market, when the tides go up and down. Ethers do the same thing. Same thing. Yep. So It's like you jump off one ship, you got to jump on another one. Eh? And then what's that other ship doing? He's usually doing the same thing. So you have to choose when you enter into the market. You have to find an entry point where they're at the bottom of a cycle and choose the strongest horse that to beat the market, right? And how many times can you choose the right horse? There's money to make maybe in both BTC and Ether, but one of them is always going to be stronger. And depending on projects, depending on future events happening and stuff like that. And I think they're both working hard. BTC has been working, he's the oldest and very, you know, people I think have adopted BTC quite intensely. When big companies start to invest like 10% of their portfolio in Bitcoin, and when you look at Ether, I look at Ether like it's the oil. Bitcoin is like gold. There's only a certain amount of gold, and Ether is like oil that we need to use to fly planes and stuff like that. So we need Ether to run apps, and that's not going to stop. So, yeah, and we still need, even with all the other Polygon, all the other blockchains coming up, you can't eliminate Ether. You take Ether out of the equation, and all the other blockchains are gonna smash and crumble. Think about it. Like, why you can Ether is like main. It's very important. Bitcoin is very important. Like Bitcoin, Ether, and then all the like Cardona, all these big institution XRP in this sense that had a bit debate at the beginning because it was like not so decentralized and stuff like that. But where code is the law, and that's what Cardona used this as a principle, and we are all allowed to use code as the law and create currency that will be logical and profitable for everyone, and not like rug doctors, tug doctors, or projects that have someone who's going to come and steal the rug in your house after you build it. Different ways of saying it. All right, enough talk. Thanks for listening. If you are inspired and you have ideas, you want to brainstorm ideas, just brainstorm ideas. I got my Discord, AI discussion topic. So yeah, everyone's welcome. That's for sure. I'm not, and everyone's welcome in Banff too. If I ever meet someone who I'll buy them a coffee. McDonald's, Tim Hortons. What do we have here? McDonald's, Tim Hortons. We have A&W finally. No Kentucky. No Kentucky yet. We got to go to Kenmore for that. All right. Ciao, everybody. That's the news of the day for me.